Near the age of 16, an unspeakable event happened to the young patient's Addie Hill. Her father was brutally murdered. On her own, except for her horse Logan, she is no willing victim. She capably picks up her daddy's deer rifle, mounts her pony, and takes revenge. In the words of Patience's author, Frances Anderson Jackson, "I wrote Patience with ease some days, and grasping for words the next. That is the way of writing a book, I'm told. When her chapters were completed, it's as though she'd become real to me, her kindred spirit." Frances loved horses from the moment she laid eyes on one. At about 10 years of age, she walked into a corral with a stallion only its owner, Uncle Bob Reed, could ride. She'd been seriously cautioned to stay outside or be trampled to death. But because of the magnetism of that fearful creature and her own stubborn recklessness, she chose to be trampled to death. Walking directly up to him and looking into his rolling eyes, she touched his soft, blowing nose irresistibly. She turned her back and woke up sometime later, flat on her stomach with a mild concussion and a horseshoe print branded on her back. Frances and her friend Carol liked to remember their childhood at Fishburne Elementary School when they were horses. Carol, the Palomino, and Frances, the wicked albino from Thunderhead. Their husbands grimace at the imagery. So, while lovely Peggy Royce was being kissed by heartthrob Billy Robb behind the backstop, Frances and Carol outran their pursuers, snorting and pawing in triumph. At 16, Frances and Carol galloped their rental horses in Munns Lake, California, having been sternly directed not to do so. Gallop them, that is. A karmic branch caught Frances under the chin, picking her right up out of that saddle and slamming her to the ground, delivering a whiplash she remembers to this day. Frances and horses just didn't mix well, though in her mind and dreams, they were thick as thieves. So this book, long in coming, is the relationship with a horse only dreamed of. Her national velvet, her black stallion, but with a twist of lemon. Frances grew up in the suburbs of Los Angeles, where her mother, Mamie Anderson, was once mayor, and her father, Engla, was a superb chef and restaurateur. Frances's only sibling, Richard Anderson, served in the Marine Corps and then with honors on the Los Angeles Police Department. His daughter Staci, that's me, created the book cover for Patience Bold Rider with niece Alexis as a muse. Frances married and had 2 sons, Richard and Norman. Eventually divorced, she later married her husband Gene, and they moved to the Bay Area in 1990. He is the shadowy Cade in the story. Gene's father was Manuel Acosta, a Native American Pueblo who jumped the reservation in Oklahoma to join the U.S. Cavalry in the late 1800s. In the book, every word about him is true. Frances's husband gives her the freedom to pursue all that was thwarted in her youth, one way or another. She's run away with the gypsies, as she likes to say, as a flamenco dancer in and around San Francisco. She sung in the bilingual choir at St. Dominic's Catholic Church. She graduated with honors in 2000 from San Francisco State University with a BA in anthropology and works now as a poet and writer. After graduation, Frances taught and worked with the City of Benicia's literacy program and enjoyed a busy life. However, in 2009, family circumstances kept her home, her wings clipped at last. So, she sat down at the computer to write about the young woman in her head, whose story she imagined living vicariously. Frances and Jean reside in historic Little Benicia to be near their much-loved son Norman across the Carquinez Straits in Martinez. Of all the history in their town, she's still most moved to know that General Mariano Vallejo's prized white mare was lost in the swift flowing straits when the raft carrying her and other prized horses overturned en route to what is now named Mare Island. In the book, Whitehawk's Chichokpi is homage to her. Frances says, I have a small gift for words, and I don't pretend this book is important. I do believe it is a very visual and exciting adventure. Begun as a story for myself, it will now journey on in this little book of 1860s history and fiction. If there is time enough, Patience and Logan will ride again. Patience Bold Rider is available as an ebook as well as in hardcover and paperback editions. A portion of the proceeds from this book will benefit one of the nonprofit organizations closest to Francess's heart, Return to Freedom American Wild Horse Sanctuary in Lompoc, California. Armed with courage, inspired by freedom, witness Patience as she boldly rides into the world.